Hey guys, how you doing? It's another episode of Conversations with Ijeoma, the podcast. And before we go into this episode, I must sincerely express my gratitude to every one of you. Thank you for all the engagements on Instagram and YouTube, the subscriptions, the likes, the comments, the shares, everything. I mean, you guys make us feel so loved, and we're definitely very loved. Thank you so much. This next episode definitely promises to be a blockbuster, a banger. I can't wait to see you on the other side. Thank you. Everything my father couldn't teach me, I want to be able to teach my children, from my experience on how life is supposed to be. Right now, I pay a lot of money for my children's school fees. The two of them alone, I do it by ₦1,000,000 per term. It's not like I have that much money. But I'm just like, I want to just give these children that foundation, my dad tried. Yeah, my parents, they gave us a good foundation, but the truth is that my dad could have done so much more. He had the means, he had the money, but he just wouldn't do it because he felt, it's my money. These children today, why should I spend my money on them? But that's by the way though. So, and that's how I had to literally start becoming independent. I did all sorts of jobs. I worked in an art gallery. I worked as a messenger. I worked in a cyber cafe. I worked in a restaurant. I worked in a bar. I worked in the photo studio. I've done jobs. I worked as a private teacher. In fact, that's what now really became my mainstay eventually anyway. So I did all sort of things just to keep, at a point I even went to do Yahoo. You get just to, and just to be sufficient, just to be able to take my last 2 years of school fees, my 400 level and 500 level school fees. I had to pay it myself, not because my parents wouldn't pay it, but I was too scared. I could not bring myself to ask them. My girlfriend then, my wife now, then her parents, our family refused to pay her fees. I had to take care of her 300 level, 400 level, and 500 level school fees by myself, as a young guy. And so we just, kept going. And I also realized that if this is what I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, I'll need to, I'll need to work on her. I had to start teaching my wife, I even took some chance. I even wrote some exams for her. One, I almost even got caught. And if I had been caught, I would have been rusticated, and stop. But we just kept growing. And at some point, we finished school. And, our daughter, of course, had always been with my mom. After the first year, she was with my mom and my grandmom. So my wife used to go visit from time to time. As far as I was concerned, I wasn't sure this is who I wanted to marry, because my thought was I was going to marry when I was 30. But then, basically, the story, it's a 7-part story. There's 7 parts. And, but I want to break it into 3 volumes. Now, part 1 is the plan. That's the title of that part. Features from July 2003 to July 2007. So that is talking about from when I turned 18 till when I had my first child, my daughter. She was born July 20th, 2007. So 4 years after I made a plan for my life, I became a dad. That being a dad was not part of the plan. Part 2 is Omotoyosi. Now this is going to talk about from August 2007 to September 2014. August 2014. Now this part is actually what features on adapting as a new first-time dad to life and everything, going through the challenges, working, struggling, trying to make ends meet, eventually having to leave Lagos, relocate with my wife. We're leaving my mom's house in Akure for 3.5 years. You get struggling to, take care of our daughter there too and everything. Mom was wonderful, but then just to trying to be independent, all the way till, in fact, we had issues where things got so bad where she had to leave me. She left me. She took my daughter and left without even telling me. We reconciled after 2 months. She came back, and since then we've been able to get to bond and understand each other better. Interestingly, not too long after, we were able to move to our own place. You get, for the first time, we're now, we lived on our own. And funny enough, my wife and my mom bonded too much during that period, because when the day we were leaving the house, my mom, my grandmom, and my wife were crying and today the bond between them. People call my mom. People think my mom is my wife's mom. They don't even know she's my mom. So, but that's by the way though. So we talk about all that all the way till my wife got a second child, which was in September 2014. And at the end of that's part 2, titled Omotoyosi. My first daughter's name is Omotoyosi actually. Then part 3 is going to be titled Isabella. Now that's my little daughter. So here we speak from October 2014 to June 2016. Now this is talking about the whole period when she was born, how we started, things were looking up, business was booming. All of a sudden things started going bad. Most of our clients were civil servants then, most of them were not getting paid. So because of that, they couldn't pay us as well. So at the point, I also had an offer waiting for me in Lagos, but I didn't want to take it because I felt, why would I leave my family behind and go to stay in Lagos? I couldn't do that. But eventually things got so bad, I had to take that offer. In fact, things got to a head when my daughter then was in year 3, primary 3. And that day, I went to pick her from school. I drove in and I saw my daughter outside with some other children. They were just at the gates. And I said, what's going on? It's like they didn't allow them enter class today. That means my daughter was outside from morning throughout school. They didn't allow into the classroom because of how much was the school fees then? 43,000 naira. I cried that day because I was like, I have money outside and look at what I'm going through. And I told my wife that I think I'm going to go take this offer in Lagos. And then I decided to move to Lagos. Also during that period, so I was also a pastor. All right, in a church, Redeemed Church. I was appointed an assistant parish pastor in 2013. So I was still a parish pastor. So at the point my parish pastor left, he got a job in Lagos and he left. So I was more like acting parish pastor. We had to move from one eyebrow area we were in Akure to a local place because our rent expired and we couldn't renew it. We now went to, so most of our members didn't follow us from the eyebrow area, so we had to now literally start looking for new members all through. Things were so bad that offering on Sunday was, for example, if I drop 500 naira and my wife drops 200 naira, everything you see less in the offering envelope or offering basket, you will see 5 naira, 10 naira, 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, 20 naira, 5 naira, 10 naira. You won't even see 50 naira, talk less of 100 or 200 naira. Something our offering on the old Sunday would not even be up to 1,000. It was that bad. We would have to bring a generator from home to come and power the church. So the church, in fact, we had an accident because my wife was trying to go get cake for the church, so things got so, and we weren't even seeing the appreciation. So things got so very terrible at a point when our rent was not going to expire again in this other place. So our rent was 200,000 naira. And I asked, so then we needed to raise the money. We didn't even have any money, because also the way Redeemed also does their stuff is that they collect returns. So whatever offering you give, they collect 70% of it. You retain 30%. Now, when you have less than 1,000 naira and you're retaining 30%, what is that supposed to do for you? So we're literally the ones taking care of the church by ourselves. So I reached out to the province headquarters and told them that, our rent is expired, we need assistance. And they said, how much is the rent? We said 200,000. They said, how much do you people have? And I said 50,000. And I even said the 50,000 in faith because I was like, okay, anyhow, hopefully maybe some people that owe me will pay my money. I should wait to find a way to give 50,000 for the church. I guess what the person told me on phone, I think the secretary to the provincial pastor, she said, you are not serious. That word hit me like a bag of bricks, that I am not serious. They said that if we ask that, we should go and get 150, they can assist us with 50,000. I was like, you guys are not paying me a dime for this work I'm doing. And right there I decided, look, I'm done. And that was it. So I told my wife I'm moving to Lagos, and I moved to Lagos and I got this new, went to take that new job. So that's where part 3 we end in the book.
And that is a wrap on this episode of Conversations with Ijeoma, the podcast. Let's know what you think about this episode. Please like, comment, share, and of course, please subscribe. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. I remain GB, and see you on the next episode of Conversations with Ijeoma, the podcast. Out.